I'm called Sempeo Edward. I'm a practicing lawyer. I joined this organization some time ago when few boys from the streets, 3 of them, came to my office and they told me they have met a white man who wanted to give them money, but then the white man told them he doesn't trust them. So they told him, we have a lawyer. So the white man was impressed and he said, I want to meet your lawyer. So when I was in my office, 2 men came and they introduced themselves and they told me they want to talk to me because I know the 3 boys. I had casually met the boys as a person who lives here in Lunguja. I had casually met with them, but they were not my friends, but I knew them. So they told me, you see, counsel, tell the white man that we need a house. So when I went there to meet the white man, I introduced myself and he told me he's called Wagner Glenn and he's interested in helping these boys. He asked me, do you have a vision for these boys? Of course, I told him that yes, I do. Yes, I do. I have a vision for them. So he told me he would like to see that the boys are helped. The boys told me that what they need in life is a house. And they told me that in their care, they have other 15 boys. So when we went to see them, indeed we found 15 boys under their care. But because I saw that it was very risky for everybody who would have helped them, to help them the way they are, illegally, managing themselves. So I got so concerned and I told Glenn that we need to pipeline these efforts so that they can be performed lawfully. And at the end of the journey, that is how we became to get a name, Rescue Mission for Street Life, to register into an organization, and finally to get a working permit and get our home approved into an approved home with the laws of Uganda. That is our history. But yes, among the boys which I met, the 15 boys who were under the care of 3 other old street boys. One of them is Douglas Atwine. He's now our staff, whom we met 5 years ago, and he's with us now.
I'm Simbwa Douglas Atwine. I will begin with my story, the journey of my life. As I was on the streets of Kampala, meandering. By that time, I had come from the village and I had nowhere to stay. So I started staying on the streets and I had spent only 1 month and met some few boys. Those boys told me that there are some uncles who usually visit them and take them to the organization and see whites. So I was interested because I needed help. So I joined the boys. We met the uncles. So by that time, there were 4 of them. There was Chwanika Joseph, who was the head of them, who introduced me to Uncle Edward Sempeo, who is known as the counsel, the lawyer of the organization. So I got that yearning of being like him because he was a man with a vision and I wanted to be like him. He became my role model. Even though I was still in the street life, I tried to learn so many things. I learned acrobatics, playing football because it was one of my talents. By that time I had left school. So after some 2 years, when I was staying in the organization, I got a chance. I went back to school. I studied my high school, completed it. Right now, I'm going to join the university and I want to be a social worker. Before that, I thank my uncles, mainly my Uncle Bazila Godwin, who helped me to go back to school, because he tutored me from the day we met until I went back to school.
I'm Bazila Godwin, a tutor in Rescue Mission for Street Life. I joined this organization in its initial stages when it had just started. The organization was beginning to build up the boys that it had just got as the first installment. It had rescued from the streets, and I'm glad. And one of the boys that makes my story a success is Douglas. I met him when he was at the shelter, but one thing that interested me, that when he attended the tutorials we offered at this shelter, he was by then, he dropped out of S2, but after the tutorials, he did not return to S2. He went straight to A3. So I was so glad. It has inspired me teaching these boys. It has been a blessing to me, because it is like a challenge. It puts us in a state where challenges come to us and we find solutions that many have tried to provide but failed. Our success is we have children that come here who failed in class, but when they come here and join tutorials, after a period, they find themselves capable of returning back to school. So that has made really my work enjoyable. I enjoy seeing children transform and going back to school, though they came here with stories of failure. That is what I can share about my role.
So when I met the 15 boys, we had questions. How are we going to best help them? We started by getting a tutor to teach them to identify those who could go to school and those who can go to a hands-on. To school and a hands-on, I think 7 of them went to a hands-on, garage, craft, dance, and others joined the school. So those who went to a hands-on, one of them is now a dancer, professional dancer, who usually go to China for dancing. Others are living and supporting their families, while those who were taken back to school, their parents were identified and they are now in their formal education. After resettling and working on the 15 boys, we had the question, where should we go next? We read the regulation and we are required to have a warden and a nurse. The warden was supposed to be having a degree in social sciences, and then the nurse a registered nurse. So we had to look out for them, and that's how we came up to have a warden and a nurse. And the warden helped us to grow various programs for this organization. One of them is to streamline rescuing and helping other street kids. The second is remodifying and rearranging our transit shelter. The nurse helped us to start and maintain a clinic. We continued with our education and we have a resource library. We continued with having a reunification, returning the boys back home, and that's how where we are.
Yes, by names of Chekute Charles, the current warden of Rescue Mission for Street Life Homes. And so far, we've had different programs in this organization. Namely, we've had identification, we have reunification, we have medical as a department that helps us to treat our children, as well as we have the counseling department and the tutorial or education department. And when we are having those departments, there is a way how they coordinate as well as correlate, in that one department helps the other to do the work very well. And so far, when we identify a child or rescue a child, we bring him in this shelter for medical assessment, for counseling, whereby they do a needs assessment on that child, and also as a warden have to do a case file for the child. And after that, the counselor has to develop a care plan, as well as the medical or the nurse also have to create a file for the child. And from that, we start looking at the different, we start to look at the different assessments that have been made, and we develop one care plan that is looked at throughout the child's stay in the shelter or at rescue mission for Street Life. But when also we are doing all that, we have our partners that we work with, like the Ministry of Labor, Gender and Social Development. We have KCCA, Gender Department. We have the probation officer on the district level that help us to supervise as well as inspect these homes. We have the police also, it helps us, especially the Child and Family Protection Department, and that is how we are organized at this shelter, because the police helps us to rescue sometimes, and they write the statement for these children that we have, as well as the probation officer have to place them, as well as we get the care orders for them before we could start the rehabilitation process. Thank you very much.
I'm Doreen Nasige, a home nurse with the Rescue Mission for Street Life. The main duties I do, immediately when I receive a child from police, I first do medical assessment. We first do HIV testing, hepatitis testing, malaria and typhoid. Reason being, at police, some children stay at police for a longer time. Most times we receive children, like after 2 days, they always get fever and they test malaria positive. And this in the period of COVID-19, immediately as we receive a child from police, we isolate the child in the isolation room. We monitor the child for 14 days without mixing the child with the other children. Then the children who test HIV positive, we always refer to Uganda Cares, IDI, and other institutions for treatment. Then there are the minor conditions are always treated at the center, at our clinic here. The minor conditions, then the other conditions like the dental problem, in case we need the x-rays, in case the cases become chronic, we always refer to Mengo Hospital for investigation and treatment. And the other duties is maintaining the hygiene of the boys, the hygiene of the press, nutrition, ensuring the nutrition, the diet is balanced, and the children are sleeping well. We provide treated mosquito nets. But I've spent here like 3 years since I joined. I joined this place. And the challenges I've been facing or have been facing as medical, because I don't work alone as a medical team. For the children who are HIV positive, they always get stress, they always get traumatized. So we always refer them to Butabika Hospital for assessment and treatment. Then the epileptic boys we also refer to Butabika. Since I joined, I've got 3 epileptic boys. Then the cases of HIV, there are many in the street children, and most of them they were born positive, and most of them they are orphans. So the challenge, we mentor the boys, but the time of reunification, we get a challenge where to place the boy in the community. Are the other family members, are they willing to accept the boy, the status of the child? Won't they isolate the child? Won't they discriminate the child? So those are the most challenge we are facing during reunification of HIV positive boys.
And where we've reached, this is the room for the big boys who are between 12 and 17 years. And so far I'm standing with the caretaker who is always here, at least to look after them during day and during night. Thank you very much. The caretaker stays with the boys inside, and we've passed his room. And this is the room for our young boys. This is the room for our young boys. And so far, the way we look at it, it's organized by the caretaker. And also he has to make sure that the young children always, they wake up, do their chores, as well as improve on their hygiene in their bedroom. As you see, currently is checking on those ones that did not lay their beds. Wow. And so for this room we are housing around 9 children who are coming from the streets, who are missing, but soon they become reunified with their parents within a period of 6 months, depending on the care order that we've received from the probation office as well as the court. Thank you very much.
So these are our few drugs we have and our files. Each child here has a medical file. So we have a weighing scale. We always monitor their growth. We take the weight, the height, the blood pressure every month. Then decide we have a resting bed. It's here. This is our couch. And we have a treatment trolley here. And waste management. So this is how we manage our waste, our medical waste. We have, as you see, then we have the sharp, the box for the sharp. It is in the corner. It is in the corner. So that's all for our clinic here.
This is the Rescue Mission Library District Resource Center. We have books of all levels, of different levels, from baby, preschool. We have secondary books because we get children of different levels, and some we get them when they are of a lower level, but from here they qualify to other levels, so they use these books. They've benefited many children here, and children like books. They always run into this library. That's why you see some areas are disorganized, but it also shows that the children do come. They come and they read. We have novels. They also read novels in their free time or after class, and sometimes during some sessions in our tutorials. So we got some donations from the public library, and they gave us some donations and other books from other well-wishers. They provided those books. Yeah, we are grateful of it, and we believe by the time after some time, you will find it when it has expanded. Yes.
Hi everyone, this is Mutesi Mary. So today we have a garden. We are going to plant vegetables. Where I am, we usually plant vegetables, for our children. Basically you do plant. First way, you mix soil and manure, and you bring one of the plants like this one. So I'm going to illustrate it for you as you watch. Yeah? Okay. This is how you plant. You plant and keep watering until the crops mature, ready to be eaten. You get them out of the farm. You go and you cook them and eat. So this is what we do for our children. We basically, after they have grown, we tell them to pick some and maybe put in sauce. So that they end up being healthy. These vegetables help our children to be healthy. That is why we plant them. Thank you.
Sound E.
Sound E.
Sound E.
Team.
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 Team together.
Team. Team y'abaana.
Abaana abantu awamu.
Abantu awamu.
Lead.
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 Omuntu okubakulira. Leave.
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 Leave. Ekikola.
Emirembe.
Emirembe.
Ear.
Ear. Okutu.
Eat.
Eat. Okulya.
Near.
Near. Okumpi.
Weak.
Weakness.
Weak.
Weak.
Omunafu.
Omunafu.
Read.
Read. Okusoma ekitabo.
Dream.
Dream. Ekirooto. Ekirooto.
Okay, now I want to learn
learn how to move
Okay, sit.
this small
Sit
point.
down.
Okay. They've told us Mr. Mukasa bought 3.75 kilograms of sugar. Sorry, 7.5 is a half and a what? If they tell us that Mr. Mukasa bought 3 kilograms, a half and a quarter of sugar for shillings 7,500. How much was the cost of what? The cost of a what? The cost of a kilo.
Offices, that is where the first entry is done. The tutor sits there as well as our administrator. That's the desk for our administration. Our administration desk, she sits there to manage our accounts, our books, records, purchases. Those are our registration papers. Caretaker, life skill officer, caretaker as well, warden's office.
Omwana nyenya waka. nyenya waka. Olina wana lesi waka. Now, Olina waka.
Yes, as you have seen, this has been our efforts 5 years ago. And we are now having a challenge of the children who are rejected and sustaining these great efforts. We are looking at creating a workshop, a metal workshop, and a wood workshop, and a gallery. We hope that when some of those children who are rejected are taken into the hands-on training, they can learn a skill to live on their own. Meanwhile, the products made as they learn can be sold for profits, and those profits can be used to sustain this great venture. Thank you.